What is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is Other Ryan here.
And today we have once again another interesting video for you. And this one was actually inspired by you guys submitting all of your theories. Okay, so I've been reading a lot of the fan submissions with the theories, and I must say guys, they are fantastic. So thank you very much for the oncoming submissions. Keep them coming. Of course, we have a lot of videos planned with them. But most of the theories are actually written under the impression that Mike Schmidt and Jeremy Fitzgerald both survived the Five Nights at Freddy's establishments when they worked there. Now, I started thinking, what about if Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is actually in another world where you're actually supposed to die in one of the games? And I want to offer you a little bit of evidence which might actually back this idea up. Now, I'm going to start by saying that this is actually known as a time paradox. And basically what a time paradox is if, for example, a specific chain of events do not occur, it might actually alter the way everything else reacts afterwards. And this is going to relate closely to the death screens within Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2, and also when you pass the days.
Yeah, so the concept of a time paradox is actually very confusing. I myself am very confused by the theory as well, so I'll be posing questions to Ryan if I don't understand, as working for you guys, just so you're on the same level as we are.
Yeah, so basically I'll be kind of proposing the theory because it's an idea I had and it is very confusing.
Yeah.
And Ron will be answering the questions hopefully you guys might have also.
Yeah.
So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into this one. Okay, so in particular, what we're going to be considering is, for example, in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2, of course, if Jeremy and Mike weren't actually supposed to beat the Five Nights. And I'm going to start by looking at the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 death screen. Alright, so in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, when you actually die, you can see yourself looking through the eyes of the head of Freddy. Now, at first when I saw this, I was a little bit confused because when looking at the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 death screen, we can clearly see that, well, we can presumably see that Mike has been stuffed into the suit. Now, when you're looking at it in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, it's almost like Jeremy has been stuffed into the suit. And the first thing that popped into my head was, what about if in this kind of world, Jeremy was actually stuffed into the Freddy Fazbear suit and he became the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Freddy? And he kind of became the protagonist that haunts Mike in the series.
So are you suggesting that this is the timeline that isn't meant to happen, or the one that is meant to happen?
You see, this is the interesting bit. You see, I think this was not supposed to happen, and when you actually die in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, this isn't what happens. The reason why I say this is jumping back to the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 teaser. What we can actually see is an image on the wall which seemingly shows Chica next to some kind of kid and also a person to her right-hand side. I believe this person to, of course, be Jeremy, for the simple fact of in Night 6, he's kind of asked to work the day shifts and stay close to the animatronics. So perhaps in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, this is telling us that Jeremy was actually supposed to live all of the nights and he did successfully. And then he continued kind of on to, living in the timeline when Five Nights at Freddy's 3 exists. But that still might make him a possible victim of the bite of 87 because we know that happened the following day.
And now moving over to Five Nights at Freddy's 1.
Okay guys, so this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Now, in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, when we actually look at the death screen once again, what it looks to be is the Freddy Fazbear, the same one that you actually wear in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but it looks like it's been stuffed with Mike. Now, the reason I'm obviously saying that is because of the eyes in the sockets. And this also makes me think, and it also backs up the theory that Jeremy survived, because if Jeremy was stuffed, Freddy wouldn't probably be the animatronic that would be targeted, which actually means that Mike was supposed to be stuffed. And another point which actually backs this up once again is something that came from Scott himself, and I want to roughly quote this one, guys, but I'm sure you've heard this before. In an interview, he actually said he didn't expect anyone to be able to beat Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Now, is this actually Scott's way of saying that people should not have actually beat the game, and so Mike should be actually dead, and in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, this is actually what happens, and maybe the stuffed Freddy has become Mike.
Ah, okay.
Or should I say Mike has become the Freddy?
Okay, so would Mike then play a role in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 if he's supposed to have died?
Potentially, he could actually be controlling the Freddy animatronic. That's what I thought.
Okay, interesting. I see what you mean.
However, another point to contrast that is actually on Night 7. You know, Mike actually gets sacked, doesn't he? He gets fired from the job.
I think it's...
and it says tampering with the animatronics. Now, what about if there's something in that kitchen? What about if even Springtrap might be there? What about if he was tampering with him and he came back to life?
Oh, here's an interesting one. What if the jolting we see in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 teaser trailer is him trying to manipulate that animatronic?
Ah,
think
yeah,
about
because
that.
we actually did say that we saw him in what looked to be the Five Nights at Freddy's establishment because of what was on the walls, didn't we?
Yes, that, wow.
Oh.
Light bulb moment.
So,
yeah.
you see, yeah, this is why I'm starting to think maybe there's some kind of time paradox here, which is, this is why all these theories are being able to be kind of coming out, and some of them are so contrasted, but yet they're still so believable.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, how does Scott do it? I mean, I can't
I
even
have absolutely no
I can't
idea.
even think of a basic story, let alone something as complicated as this one. Oh my god.
And this is why we have not made Five Nights at Freddy's.
yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
Alright, so I think finally now we're going to move ahead to Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So we know this game is 30 years in the future, and I'm going to pose this question to you guys. So what actually happened before then? Did Mike and Jeremy survive, or did one of them die? Was one of them supposed to die? I want you guys to tell me what you actually think towards this question. Alright then guys, so as we said, this was another topic for you all, and this one is a bit of a mind-boggling one, but sometimes these are the sort of theories you guys need to reconsider to kind of refresh your brain and maybe coin up some new concepts, because it is this way of thinking which can trigger a totally different idea, and sometimes they can actually, well, as you saw as we was producing this, we kind of got a couple of light bulb moments, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, some great ones.
Sorry for not participating in this theory as much as Ryan did. I was just as confused as you guys probably are, so I thought I'd ask the questions to make sure I'm on the right lines as Ryan was.
Yeah, what we thought for this one, guys, is that it was a theory I kind of coined up in my head when I was my brain was somehow overworking.
Yeah,
I think as my brain overworked, Ryan's kind of stayed on the same normal level.
Yeah.
And in turn, it's actually made quite a nice video for me, because it's kind of like I've explained my theory and I've had kind of someone else to ask me, which is, you know, sometimes you guys in the comments do ask these questions about these theories, so we really hope that this has been a different outlook, and yeah, hopefully Ryan's kind of
asked the questions for you.
Yeah, kind of asked some of the questions that you may have been confused on. So on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Of course, remember to like if you do enjoy, and look forward to a top 5 video coming tomorrow.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?